Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day wherever you are in the world. Today is going to be a good video. We are going to be talking about a special game here that I don't think has been getting enough attention. I believe it came out in 2019, but I am just discovering it within the last week or so, depending on when you're watching the video. And this is a beautiful game called Necesse. This game is so amazing. I have been obsessed with it. I am absolutely hooked on this game. I have been ruining my sleep schedule for this game. I'm just now getting it more back on track. I wanted to make this video a lot sooner, but I wanted to make sure that I got enough gameplay in and stuff and played it enough so that I would be able to tell all of you more about the game, I wanted to be able to talk more about it and tell more about the later game and stuff like that. The progression, really, the progression is a big part of this game. I feel like it really makes you stand back and kind of be like that look at us meme, that kind of thing. So to give you a general idea of what this game is like, the two games I've heard the most comparison to, and I have played neither. So I want to make that perfectly clear that I have played neither of these games. The two that get most compared to that I've seen online and heard from my friend, and I've never heard of one of these games. The first one is RimWorld. I have never heard of that game. I've never even seen it. So, he said it's super popular, but I don't know. I guess I'm just out of the loop with that one. Never seen or heard of RimWorld, but he said that it is a lot like that. So if you like RimWorld, you're probably really gonna like this game. He said the settlement management stuff, which yes, the settlements and such in this game, we'll get into it. He said it's a lot like that. The other game that he constantly takes comparisons to himself personally is Terraria. So those two games, if you're into either of those or those kinds of games, definitely stick around. We'll be talking a lot about this game. We have a lot to dive into. This game has so much to it. For those of you who have played neither of those games and don't understand anything about them, a quick rundown of what this game is really about is it's a lot of resource hunting and such, like going around chopping down trees, Minecraft kind of thing, chopping down trees, mining, stuff like that. There's crafting, settlement management, and building up your settlement, farming, mining, dungeons, bosses, loot. All of that is there, and there is a great progression that synergizes through all of that to just tie it all together. So if you're interested in this, stick around because we are going to be talking a lot about this game today. So hello one, hello all, I am your STATISTACS. I typically try to put out 2 videos a week. We generally here talk, nostalgic for games that we've played in the past and such, and that I went back to, new games coming out, and my thoughts before the game comes out, anything gaming really I'll do here. I'll be talking and playing and we'll do playthroughs, whatever. And I'm always happy to take recommendations. So if you ever have any recommendations, you can leave it down below in the comment section of a video, or you can go down into the description below and go to my Twitch, Instagram, or Twitter, and you can give those a follow, and you can always contact me through any of those, and I will absolutely be there to talk with you. And I love having conversations on topics and debates and all of that such. If you don't know, I just made a Borderlands 3 video. If you're into Borderlands, on the story, if you want to go check that one out. And I put my opinions out there on the line just so anybody can I feel like I have pretty controversial opinions when it comes to Borderlands 3 and such. So anyways, let's just get right into the video. I am super excited to talk about this game, and this is probably going to be a longer video already, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so let's start with the settlement building, because I feel like that is a very large core piece to this game, and a lot of where the synergy comes in, and it all ties together in the settlement building. I'll try to keep it as short and sweet as possible with this. It's so hard not to dive so deep into each mechanic, but there are so many things to talk about with this game that I have to kind of keep it on a bit of a surface level here, just to give you a general idea of what the game is. And if it sounds interesting to you, the game is only $10. This game is only $10. I'm going to say that right out front. The game will only be $10. It's in early access, but I think like I said, it came out in about 2019, so it has a lot of great features and accessibility and such. It is really amazing, but we'll dive into that as we go. The settlement building, though, is absolutely the cornerstone to this game. It is like a key piece to this game. You won't really get far without it. It's going to make the process of everything you do much quicker. It's going to, as long as you keep your settlement organized and such, which is easy, by the way, to do, which I'll get into. But settlement management in this game is confusing at first, and it definitely has a learning curve to it. It definitely took me a while. I still feel like I'm learning things about the settlement building, and I'm 30 hours into the game. I'm over 30 hours into the game now. I played a lot last night. But so, I mean, there's definitely a learning curve with the settlement management in this game and the way things work, because there's so much to it. So trying to give a quick rundown of how it generally starts out is you are plopped on the map, kind of like, you know, Minecraft or something. That's like a spawn point in the world or server, whatever you use, and that is where everybody's just going to get dropped into the game. And then whoever starts the game will notice that they're the first person to start the world will notice there is a building that, you know, you'll spawn next to, and they kind of give you a little bit of a beginner setup. So there'll be like this elder guy that kind of, you know, is there to give you like, it's a little guiding force. I guess Terraria supposedly has something similar from what I've heard, but he's there basically just to give you the, you know, quick tutorial on how to do all the basics, like, you know, maybe making a pickaxe and chopping down a tree and making an axe and stuff like that, and just going down into the mine and doing all the basics down there and all that stuff. He's just gonna give you the basic rundown. But the settlement itself, what'll happen in a general overall experience of the game is you will start it, and you will, you know, like I said, you'll start with that little building and everything, and eventually what'll happen is people will start coming to your island, and you'll be able to basically hire them to join your settlement. You'll have to like give them some kind of pay to join your settlement. Usually it's like 300 gold, or sometimes they'll come through if it's like a hunter, they might ask for like, oh, I want like 300 gold and like 20 wool or something like that. And there is a lot of different kinds of people that you can hire to be in your settlements that'll all have their own purpose. There's generic like core villagers, they'll be called, when they show up at your settlement, and those ones can do hauling, crafting, forestry, and farming. But then there's other specialized ones that can do the core things, but then have their own specialized thing they can do, like the farmer, the animal keeper, the angler, the hunter, the guard, and then there's like gunsmith, alchemist, and all sorts of stuff, and they all have their own specialized things they can do. So you'll want to get those people as soon as possible, because the quicker you get them and the more of them you have and stuff, you'll be able to automate everything that goes on in your settlement. So like you'll want to be growing food and getting fish caught and all of these things so that you can make potions and, you know, get ingredients so that you can cook proper meals that give buffs and such. And all these things are going to really help you when you get down into the mines and you're fighting and all this stuff. So the settlement is going to be a huge part of your game. The settlers you can even have be your organizers, which is what I have them do a lot of times for myself. I'll have specific settlers, like a couple of them, just be people that are ready to just sort out all my stuff. And I love that, because when I play Minecraft, I hate trying to organize all my stuff. I always get so like overwhelmed and flustered, I feel like, when I play Minecraft and I'm trying to organize everything, because like I'm trying to remember where I put what, and then I'm trying to put it all in chests. I know it's like you start out organized, you won't have to worry about it, but I'm not that person. I am terrible at being organized. So what I love is that I can have one chest where I throw everything into, and then what I can have them do is I can mark other chests for specific things like equipment, which is armor and swords, or consumables, which is like foods and potions. And you can even separate it further than that. I just choose not to because I'm lazy. So I'll have one chest that I throw everything into, and then it makes it, I can tell the settlers to make it so that they aren't allowed to have everything in that chest, and then they'll automatically start taking it all out and putting it into the chests, organizing it for me, the ones like titled equipment and consumables and stuff like that, which is absolutely amazing. I love that for myself because I hate trying to organize myself, so it's absolutely incredible that I can just have the settlers do that for me. So there is so much more that I could easily dive into with the settlement, but I really don't want to pigeonhole myself to one topic of this game because there is so much to this game that even in the one topic, there's so much in it that it's so easy to just get lost in it. So that is the general idea of settlement building. Let's move on. The mines / dungeons / bosses, which I'm going to break it up in a minute, but all three of these are probably my favorite gameplay part of the game. Going into these things is definitely super amounts of fun for me. I love going down into the mines. And let me just take a minute to step back and talk about the maps, because the way this game works is there are biomes, and there are, at least as far as I've seen right now, at around 30 to 40 hours into the game, I've seen 4 biomes. There's swamp, there's forest, there is winter, and there is desert. And the way this game works with those different biomes is all of them have their own unique resources that you will get from those biomes, and not just on the surface, but in the mines as well. So you'll want to go into a mine for every biome. So you're going to be like exploring island to island, trying to find the different biomes so that you could make a ladder for yourself, which the ladder is the way you get down to the mine, and then you place that down and you just right click, well, for mouse and keyboard anyways, and then you're down in the mine, and you'll be plopped down wherever it puts you on that map, and every map will have a different mine. Even the way the maps work in this game is so interesting to me. If you press M on your keyboard, it'll pull up a map of the island you're on. But that's not the only island in the game. As I was just saying, there's more biomes, so you can travel around. And the way it works in this game, you press N and you'll see a box with a bunch of tiles, and at the beginning they'll all be question marks except for the island you're on. The way it works is when you travel to the edge of a map that you start on, or wherever you are, and it'll say like travel, let's say you go east, it'll say travel east when you hit the edge of the map, and then you'll travel to a new tile, which is a new island, and it's really freaking cool. So anyways, every biome has its own unique resources, so you'll want to hit the mines in every biome to get those resources so that you can take them back to your settlement and get crafting and get new things progressing further in your game. Now, I think the mines are, once I started getting into those, I think that's where I really got hooked. I stuck to the surface for like a good couple hours of my gameplay, and I wasn't really progressing much. Probably like the first hour of my gameplay, I should say. I was really not like acknowledging the mine. I was just kind of walking around on the surface doing stuff. You're not going to get far that way. You have to go into the mine. And that is exactly when I got hooked on this game. The mine is addicting because you're constantly getting loot. You're constantly getting resources, and it's just so much fun. It's not even just, you're mining all the time down there. Obviously, there's going to be enemies down there, and there's going to be a variety of enemies, and as you progress through the game, the variety gets bigger and bigger, and you start to see newer and newer enemies. But on top of that, it's not just all rocks and ore. It is, you'll dig through a bunch of rock, and then just suddenly there's like a big opening, and it's kind of like a little cave in the mine that you're walking through or whatever, and there'll be enemies in it, but there's also like boxes and vases and stuff for you to break, and then there's coins and arrows and all sorts of other stuff that you'll get out of it. And then you can find chests and storage boxes and all sorts of other things to open up, go into, and loot, and get maybe a new weapon or armor or whatever. There is so much to be looking for when you're down in the mine, and it's people like me that love looters that get so addicted to this so quick, I feel like, because I play Borderlands, and the game actually has a looting system, kind of that Borderlands-ish feel. So this feels like a great segue to go into another favorite portion of the game. The whole game is my favorite portion of the game, really. I should stop saying that. But this is just such a fun aspect, is the looting of weapons, armor. Yes, there's enchantments in the game, and the weapons that you can get in the game surprised me. I didn't expect there to be anything really beyond, like, I guess, swords. I don't know what I expected for weapons, to be honest, out of this game, but I was pleasantly surprised when I found out there are guns, there is magic. Yes, there's like swords, hammers, all that such. So basically like the three things is like magic, melee, and guns. And how could I forget, there is also summoning in the game, which is so cool. So this actually builds for you in this game. This actually builds, which again, as a huge Borderlands fan, you could imagine how exciting that was for me to see that there was some kind of little looter aspect in what is already so much in a game. So the way this works is like Borderlands, where you'll find weapons and armor and such, and they will actually have rarity colors in the name. So it'll be like green, blue, purple, yellow, orange. So not only are you mining for the utilization of things back at your settlement to craft and whatnot, you're also mining to find gear for yourself, to better yourself so that you can go down in the mine, be a stronger you, and go fight tougher enemies that you might have struggled with in the past. And this is where the synergy and the progression feels natural. And just, you know, one moment you're in the cave fighting a big spider and you're struggling, and like I had to find like a cheese spot to kind of sit and kill one, and then suddenly the next day you're playing and all of a sudden you're fighting those spiders casually with no issues at all. It's an absolutely incredible feeling. And that loot and progression of yourself that you feel is going to really take you to newer heights, and then you'll be fighting things like bosses and going through dungeons, and it is an absolutely great time. And these bosses have, again, going to the Borderlands reference, it is just so exciting to me that this game has this kind of stuff. You can find bosses in the game. It's my friend really compared it to Terraria with the bosses. Like, you can have this thing called a mysterious portal, and then it summons this big boss on the island with you, and they have a bunch of stuff like that where you basically can like summon these bosses to fight. And all of the bosses in the game have their own drops. I love this. I absolutely love this. Again, as a Borderlands fan, I just think it is so great that bosses will have their own drops, and it's not just like you kill them once and you get all the drops. They'll have like 4 different drops, and you want to try to get all of them so you keep going back and fighting the boss, right? It is absolutely amazing. And so now in this game where it's farming and crafting and settlement management, you're also feeling the synergy of a looter where you're, you know, going down into the mine, trying to get the best gear you can, crafting some of the best gear you can at the moment so that you can go fight a boss and farm him to get the things to make your gear more synergized. Because if you use magic or ranged weapons or melee or summoning, there is armor that will absolutely be buffing your weapons and such. And then there's enchantments that you can put on your armor and weapons and trinkets to increase all of that for you and make your build synergize. And then to take it even further, because when you build up your settlement and you have a farm and you get it more automated and you get farmers and such, then there's, you know, people automatically, you know, you have to, in the settlement, you have to do like the planting and the getting of the resources from the mine. The settlers won't do that stuff. So once you plant them or you get the iron from the mine and such like that, you can tell them to craft with it. You can tell them to do things with it. So once you start farming and you have a bunch of stuff planted, maybe you have a bunch of flowers and stuff, and you have an angler that can go fishing for you, all these things that you are bringing back to your settlement or you're getting harvested for you from your settlers, you can then have other settlers go to a cooking pot over the fire and start making foods that give buffs. to also enhance your build. And then also you can have potions. You can have somebody making potions for you constantly. You can like select which potions they make, and then you can have those on you and use those to also help you enhance your build. Everything synergizes so well in this game. Everything feels so natural in this game. Your progression feels natural. It's like all of a sudden you're realizing, because you fought the same enemy that you fought a few hours ago, and suddenly you're realizing, oh my god, like, you know, it's like the look at us meme, like, look at us, look at us, like, you know, it's absolutely incredible how well the progression just naturally comes to you. And now that I've told you all of this, and I've already said it before, but I'll say it again, this game was only $10 on Steam. What a mind-blowing price tag. I haven't even gone over the amazing pixel art graphics that I am absolutely in love with, because I have been addicted to pixel art games recently. I haven't even told you about the awesome soundtrack in this game that is so much fun to listen to, which, by the way, you can get a portable music player in your inventory or a music player for your home, so that when you go into your home, it's just like the Minecraft jukebox or something, where you can have a disc playing, but it's instead of the Minecraft jukebox where it only plays one time, it'll just keep replaying. You can just put it in and it just keeps playing. Or you can have a portable music player and put discs and swap them in and out and constantly listen to different tracks. The game has an amazing soundtrack. I would honestly like to be able to give you guys the fair shake of this game and start going over some of the negatives at what is, at least in this recording, it'll probably be a little bit shorter, but 24 minutes in, I would love to be able to give you guys some of the negatives of this game, but I'm going to be real with you. 30 to 40 hours in, I have no negatives. I was talking to my friend Brandon and I asked him, because I was like, I can't think of any negatives, and I don't want to do that for a video, is just have all upside, because that's unrealistic. But neither of us could really think of any serious negatives to this game. Even minor ones, it was like kind of I think the one thing he mentioned to me was that, you know, his screen will be too zoomed in for boss fights and stuff, but he's legally blind, so I mean, it's kind of not like a common issue that everybody's gonna run into. But that's the thing, is this game has so much accessibility. You can zoom in, you can make the UI bigger, you can do all sorts of things, but obviously if you're so zoomed in on your character, it's kind of tough to see what's going on around you in a more peripheral sense. So like, he zooms out for boss fights and such so that he can get a better view of what's going on. But that's, you know what I mean? Like, there's no big drawbacks to this game that I have found yet. I'd say there was one small point where I felt a little stagnant in the game, but I think that was a me problem. Like, I wasn't exploring and doing enough in the moment, so I wasn't making the progress that my friend was when I was looking at him, and I just kind of realized I need to, you know, like, start going into the mine more and doing more and exploring the surface more. And don't sleep on exploring the surface, because I did, and you do find good stuff just exploring on the surface. But anyways, I am rambling, and this video is definitely going to be long enough. So I want to hear from all of you on what you think of this game. Will you be getting this game? I 100,000% recommend it for only $10. I don't think I could ever find you a better deal on a game, ever. And that's when it's not on sale. The game even gives, it's actually even verified for Steam Deck, by the way, if you are an owner of a Steam Deck, because I am, so I was looking at that. But also, the game even offers, if you want to run a server of your own, you can even download the server client through Steam. It's in the tools section of your library, so if you don't have that checked off, it won't show up. But it is just as convenient as going into your library, downloading the server client. Of course, you have to port forward and all that like any other server you want to run, but you know how that goes. So I do that for me and my friend to play the game, because, you know, if I'm not on and he wants to play, it's my world. But I run a server now, so he can just play anytime. which is awesome. It's really amazing. I definitely recommend, if you want to play with friends, doing it through a server if you have the ability to. Another really quick thing is I went to host a server and I did it through the Steam client, and then I wanted to play my game on Steam Deck, but it did the thing where it was like, oh, you're playing a game somewhere else. Would you like to close that? And it was the server client trying to run on my desktop while I tried to play on my Steam Deck. So I had to download the server client outside of Steam. So if you that niche issue, but it's there, and I figured I would, let you know in case you do get the game and you do play it and you do intend to play on your Steam Deck away from home and leave your server running somewhere else through your Steam account. I will leave a link to the website. They have their own website where you can download it outside of Steam. I'll leave that link down below. Thank you all so much if you've made it to this point. I really appreciate you all. This video was a fun video for me to make because I really wanted to show all of you this game and get it out there. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think you'll be picking it up? Let me know what you think about it, if you're playing it, if you've picked it up, and I'm excited to hear from all of you down in the comments down below. And one more quick add-on before I end the video. 2 things to keep in mind as well for a game that is only $10. It is early access, so there is going to be updates. This game is going to continue to get updated. And also, I haven't checked it out myself, but I have heard there is a pretty good sized modding community for this game, and it's straight through the Steam Workshop, so it is super convenient and easy to mod. But that's everything I had for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do with all those YouTube buttons, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.